Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. For today I'm going to be showing you 2 looks, swatches, close-ups, all the things with the new Moonshroom palette from Lunar Beauty. So if you want to hear my thoughts, see some close-ups, then please stick around for today's video and make sure you are subscribed before you're leaving today. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First things first, I have got some allergies going on. It's pollen season where I live and my eyes are watery, my nose is running, all the things, so bear with me. I'm going to first show you some close-ups of the palette and go over some information on this collection. This collection consists of the eyeshadow palette, a highlighter palette, and 3 lip glosses. The lip glosses retail for $17. The highlighter palette retails for $36, which is a 4-pan. And then the eyeshadow palette, that is the only thing that I picked up, that retails for $48. The eyeshadow palette has 18 shades in it. You have got 12 mattes and 6 shimmers. So now that you have seen some close-ups, I'm going to zoom you in and let's get started with look number 1. So for look number 2, I went in with like the top row and some of the purples, which you'll see that soon. But for today, I want to do like a swampy, grungy goodness and play with the greens in the palette because you already know those are just my favorite shades to wear. Initially, when I saw the palette, I was like, do I want it or do I not want it? Because I love moons. Like, I have moons as decor. I love like the mushroom decor. I love the aesthetic of the collection and the color story. I love my grungy, swampy tones, and this is honestly like a neutral grunge palette in my opinion. And the reason why ultimately I decided to pick it up was because it reminded me so much of my Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette, which this is like my OG absolute favorite palette. But I just like some of the pops in this palette reminded me of this, so I just love this one so much. So I wanted to pick this one up. I know a lot of people, I do not have the ColourPop and Raw Beauty Christie palette, so I do not have that to compare. Let me go ahead and jump into, I'm going to go with Meadow first. So I do not have that palette to compare, but I do see some similarities, some differences. But let me just say something, and this may be a very unpopular opinion because I feel like people either love this palette or hated this palette. I just wanted to say that Raw Beauty Christie and ColourPop, they do not own mushrooms. Other brands can make a mushroom palette if they wish. Same thing for Ensley Reign. You know what I mean? I don't understand why that was like such a big deal. But granted, I have not been consuming beauty content all that much. I have been sick and busy just being a mom. So some of the comments I saw, I didn't get to read everything, but Trend Mood as a whole, like the comment section is pretty toxic. I'm going to go in with this shade right here. But I just wanted to note that like any brand can come out with a mushroom palette. Like, can you, like, how many mermaid palettes, you know, or how many neutral palettes? Like, I don't know, let brands do what they want to do. That's just my opinion. And honestly, this color story, once I swatched it out, I was like, that is very earthy and very neutral, very typical Manny fashion to have like pops of purple in a neutral palette. In my opinion, this one just leans a little bit more grungy. I'm going to build that shade up just a little bit. I love the yellows in here. I've already used them all. I'm going to go in with the greens. Oh, I love the beautiful embossing in the pants. I think they are so, so cute. Y'all asked, so that's why I'm filming this review. I know it's a little bit later. Everyone else already has their videos up with it. But y'all, some of you wanted to hear my opinions on the palette and see some looks. So this is for you. The mattes in the palette, they're a very buildable formula, very beginner friendly. They're not too pigmented, like you do have to build them up just a few times, where I personally enjoy that about Manny's formula, because sometimes when mattes are too pigmented, things can go south real quick. I want to do, what do I want to do? I'm going to go with Dewdrop, and I'm curious if this is going to be green or blue on me. Let me switch my brush. And I'm using the What's Up Beauty brushes if you are curious. I'm someone who, I don't watch Manny often. Sometimes I do, but 9 times out of 10 I don't. I'm just so busy. I don't have a lot of time to consume a lot of beauty content. And for the most part, I just watch my friends and smaller creators. I don't watch a whole lot of larger creators, but Lunar Beauty, I love the aesthetic of the brand, and I really do enjoy the formulation, because I know Manny had like kind of a issue with a smaller creator. If you know, you know. But I feel like I'm always one to side with the smaller creator just because, hi, I'm a nano creator myself. And I did see both sides. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably do, but it's all over TikTok. It's hard to get into it without spending an entire video discussing it because there's so many important details. But I did post a picture of this palette on my Instagram, and Lunar Beauty reached out. They messaged me, asked if they could repost it. Thought that was awesome, so I did appreciate that. And I did want to pop up because I'm kind of petty in a way. I want to pop up because just to kind of make a point about larger brands giving smaller creators exposure when you repost our content. Within a 24, actually this was well over 24 hours, I actually lost followers. I just want to show, like, even if a big brand posts or like reposts your content, you're not gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, other brands may reach out. You may honestly organically find some creators that way, but for the most part, I'm just going in with chocolate truffle now. You're not going to grow like you did way back when, like in the day. So I just want to make that point, if that makes sense. Because I was just doing like a little bitty test, and I was like, you know what, I'm curious. Since Manny thinks that, you know, if a larger brand gives you that exposure, you're going to get followers and connections. No PR, no codes, no followers. Do you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make that known because we're not living in 2016. So I thought that was interesting. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing with your own eyes that just because a larger brand reposts your content does not mean you're going to grow. But I really did appreciate them reaching out to me. I don't, honestly, it doesn't bother me when brands ask if they can repost my content. I find that, like, I'm excited, you know, like, I love makeup. I tag the brand, so it's nice whenever a brand actually acknowledges you and reaches out to you. My only problem is whenever a brand necessarily will make it shoppable, but I'm never gonna, like, come for that brand. I'm just, like, kind of like side-eyeing them, you know what I mean? Oh, my camera battery died. It cut me off. The only time it bothers me when people repost my content, it's when they don't ask. And secondly, it's like when it's accounts that repost new makeup content that's launching and things like that. And they're like, use my discount code. It's like, you're going to use my picture and then advertise using your code and not even ask me and acknowledge me. It's the only time whenever I get like really annoyed is when people repost my content without asking. So I definitely get Gabby's perspective on that because it really irritates me so much. It's like, you could at least acknowledge me and don't ever go on someone's post and say, use my code. It's like, just stop. You know what I mean? Okay, let's go with the shimmer. I want to go in with Spores, this beautiful green. That's one I have not used yet. I love Lunar Beauty's shimmers. They are so flattering and beautiful. They remind me a lot of like a ColourPop Super Shock without being too squishy, if that kind of helps you. As far as texture goes, they are lovely. I'm going to go in with Fungi. It's a little bit of a darker green and just kind of mix that right on the outer third to mesh the shimmer and the mattes. I have not used, I think I've used every shimmer except for Foxfire, and it's like a really pretty pinky, I don't know even how to describe it, burnt orange pinky shade. I want to put that right on top, and then I'll be back to show you the finished look. Okay, so this is the finished look. I just used all the same mattes, put it on my lower lash line, and then I went in with a Magic Mushroom on the inner corner. It's my favorite shimmer in the palette. It's so pretty. So now I'm going to turn down the brightness. Here is the look under low lighting. I love how flattering his shimmers are. I'm going to swatch some for you. I just did one little dip, and let's smooth them out. And there you go. That's kind of like some live swatches for you. So now I'm going to show you look number 2, and then I'll be back to wrap up my thoughts. Okay, so let's go over this look. I really like how it came out, guys. I used so many different shadows for this look because this is actually, I know this is the second look for y'all, but this was the first look I've created. And actually, I've been wearing this all day, and it has lasted. So I did want to note that, like, the shadows have stayed really vibrant. So let's go over with how I created this look. I'm not even kidding you. I used all these right here in my crease to just kind of see how they would build and blend on one another, make sure there's no patchiness, and I would get like pretty similar variation in the colors, but they are so pretty. I went in with the browns in the outer corner, typical kind of me look, and then for the lower lash line I had to dip into some of the purples, so I went in with this one and this one and just kind of blended it out on the lower lash line. And as far as the shimmers, I used 3 shimmers. So I have been dying for a Magic Mushroom. I use this one all over my lid. So far, I think this is my favorite shimmer. It is so pretty, and it really adapts to every single matte that you use it with. It looked really good with the yellows, and then when I mixed it in with the browns, it looked even good then. And then with the purples on the bottom, I was like, okay, that shade truly is magical. And then I went in with Fairy Wings on the inner corner and just like the inner third. It's like the perfect gold. And then for the outer corner, actually I used 4 shimmers. I mixed Fungi and a Witch's Hat. So the really dark deep green and this pretty purple. I mixed that kind of like on the outer third with what we have. I really like how it came out. I know that's like a mouthful and a lot of shades, but guys, everything blended out beautifully. So now I want to turn down the brightness. Okay, so here we have it under low lighting. You see how the shimmers, they're very thin, topper-like, very sparkly. I love that type of shimmer. They were very soft in the pan as well. And just keep in mind, I've been wearing this look for the majority of the day. So, I mean, for this vibrancy after all these hours, I'm happy with it. But I just wanted to lower the light so you could see it. So now I'm going to zoom you out and let's go over my thoughts on this palette. If you're curious on my lips, I'm using my tried and true, my Milani 410 Pleasure lipstick, and I don't know if my Moira video is up, but I'm just using those products on my face. I'm loving Moira Cosmetics. So let me go over my thoughts on this palette. I love both looks that I have created. I love the packaging. I love the aesthetic. I know some people didn't. It was a miss, but for me, it is. I really enjoy it. It's a very earthy, beautiful palette. I love the mattes. You have to build them up a bit. Very beginner friendly. The shimmers are beautiful, lovely, buttery. It's his typical formulation that we have seen from the brand. I really enjoy his formula as a whole, and the fact that I get more grungy tones because it does kind of remind me of my Nocturnal palette in a way. I have nothing to complain about as far as packaging, color, story. I'm really enjoying this palette. Did I need it? No, but I am glad that I did have it. So I did film this video for everyone that requested it. I really do hope you liked the looks I created. I hope this helped you in any way, kind of swaying if you wanted to get it or if you want to skip it, if you want to dupe it. Always leave me any questions in the description box. Manny, they really have fast shipping. I've never had a bad experience as far as customer service goes, shipping, all of that. So hopefully this was helpful, but that's going to do it for today's video. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.